Hi, welcome to Watcher DM. I'm Gabriel, and today I am continuing my exploration of the Tome of Adventure Design, revised edition by Matt Finch at Mythmere Games. And we are deep into, I guess not that deep, we're at part 2 of chapter 3. So we are designing a dungeon adventure, is where we are. And yeah, we're going to start with the big picture backstories right here. If I can find my pen, my handy lamey. Love this thing. Oh, before we get too into this, I got to mention we've got a Kickstarter coming up end of July for an adventure we wrote called A Privatized Little Hell. It's a really fun, high-level 5e dark comedy adventure with amazing art by Lady Lauralee. So if you would, check out the link in the doobly-doo, go follow, and the higher we get that number, the more likely we are to succeed. So I would love it if you would help me out. Let's get into this tutorial. So we are going to roll 3 times. We're going to call this BP. BS. So, big picture backstory. Picture your big backstory. Hey. So, we got 81 for our first roll. We got 74 for our second roll. And then we got 35 for our third and final roll. So, 81 poisons were used. So, this is why this location, adventure location, became dangerous. So poisons were used. So you can imagine a place that has become affected by poison usage. After a religious or philosophical dispute. Interesting. I'm going to say philosophic. This is another little trick. When you have things in your table that are like this, or this, or this, or this, or this, it gives you a bunch of list of things. Pick one. Just pick one. It can be at random. You can use die to do it, but it doesn't really matter how. One of the good things to do, I think, is to kind of do early chopping and just narrow down to something. You can change it later. You can change your mind later. But I think it really helps to kind of turn a cohesive idea, get one started. This all happened 10 years ago. So I'm actually going to tie this into, I have a cool idea for how this would work with the Cursed Scroll 2 from Shadowdark. They have the Rosgodai Monastery in the Echoes, and I could imagine like a Rosgodai training ground being turned toxic with Black Lotus poison after an argument erupted between the Path of the Mirror and the Path of the Shadow. I think they're called Path of the Shadow. Whatever, the Black Lotus branch, the chaotic branch of the Rosgodai. Anyway. Cool idea. Let's try out this capsule backstory. So we'll call it CBS. And we're going to roll 4 on this one. So we got 74 again. Classic. We got 84. Nothing wrong with that. We got 72. And we got 21. Alright, so item-based backstories. So this is an item-based backstory. And 74 is a religious item. Cool. Uh, 84 was used here for a crime such as arson, murder, or kidnapping. Used here for... I kind of like the idea that it was used for kidnapping. I think we're just gonna pin down kidnapping. If we need to change it later, we can. And then we got 72 for The other factor involved a love affair. Ooh, maybe kidnapping was not the ideal choice there. This is feeling a little cringy. And then 21, 100 years ago. So maybe there's like a religious item that allows teleportation, like maybe a vestment of teleportation or something, and a jilted priestly lover decided to kidnap his chick that he wants or guy that he wants or whatever, using it, and so it was used for kidnapping, and they ended up here. And yeah, love affair just means it's jealous. So this all happened 100 years ago, and now I don't know. Maybe the vestments have another effect, like the person is timeless, or they're trapped in like a time crystal or something, and so they're here leeching or twisting the energies around them. Could do, could do. So that's 3-7. And then we got person-based backstories. So this is item. Let's try... Okay. Let's try person. Now these have some more text in them, so I'm going to do these one at a time here. So that we have enough room to write. Ooh, a 98. I love rolling high on these tables. So let's go see what 98 is. 98, one whose power resides in being believed by others. So person involved with location. Power of belief. So the person is empowered by belief. Now, it's interesting. I think the default perception of that is like gods are, their power is acquired through belief. But I think you could also do like dreams would be another one. Politicians technically fall under a category of like your power comes from the belief of others. So there's some fruit on that tree, as I am now saying for the very first time, and eventually will coin a phrase. 25 for our relationship of location to person. So 25 is a place of training. Oh, interesting. Man, that's kind of wild. I'm actually wondering, like, what is this dungeon? What is this location now that we've got this power of belief, place of training combo? Where do you train a dream? Where do you train a politician? Is it like a lawyer's college or something? How cool. What a cool idea. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's roll. So we got the 7 on last important event involved here. And that's going to be music, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, could be, maybe a concert of some stripe or a recital. Yeah. Or like a parade with like a marching band or whatever for this politician. Maybe their ascension ceremony or something. I'm also like, now I'm starting to get a vibe like a Dalai Lama type character. Like that could be really interesting. Man, cool ideas on this table. Optional additional factors. Let's see if our optional factor is juicy. The event was intended by someone to affect the person's superior. Event intended to affect superior. Huh. Okay. I don't know that I know what that means. And if I'm being totally honest, this last table is pretty meaningless. I probably would have done this a little bit differently. It says it 100 years ago. So, whatever. Not gonna worry about it too much there. All right. And then we've got Original purpose or most recent use backstory here. This only has 2 roles on it, and they don't look super long, so we're going to go with most recent use. And we're just going to roll the 2 die. So we got a 23, and we got a 55. Okay, so 23 bedrooms. Interesting. So the place most recently was bedrooms. Did I say 55 but roll a 95? I'll have to check the video later. But we're on a 55. We're keeping the 55. So 55 for created or converted by whom? A wizard or other spellcaster. Evil. Okay. Evil priest. I think if we can join these things together, we could actually make a pretty cool, like, it's not really a priest per se, but maybe like a guru. So we'll say like an evil guru. And all of these things work together, right? So like maybe the guru, the Black Lotus of the Rosgodai was jealous of the White Lotus's relationship, and kidnapped the White Lotus using a religious artifact. Yeah, so that's this. In snatching him away, the poison, like the place became infused with all the poisons of the Rosgodai. The place was a place of training, so he teleported them to a place of training. Interesting. Yeah, and then, so I guess we'd have to pick one of these for time for how long ago. But and then they are in the they were in the dormitories of the trainees. So yeah, got some cool, I think, juice here. Let's go ahead and check out these clues. Let's also see maybe quickly how much more. Oh man. Honestly, there's kind of a lot here. So I'll tell you what. Oh my god. Codes and ciphers. Okay, and then we get into the map. So we've got a little ways to go here. But I think we've got some ideas for backstory stuff. And I think that's a really good place to stop. And then we'll go ahead and dive into clues and types of information and messaging in the next video. So, 214. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like and go hit subscribe and bell icon and all that stuff. If you want to support Watcher DM, you can go to watcherdm.com and pick up any of our adventures. You can also find them in physical, some of them in physical form at Composed Dream Games or Igloo Tree. There's a couple of other retailers that carry our stuff. And yeah, you can also go to the Patreon, patreon.com/watcherdm if you want to support us and help us make more stuff like this. Thanks for playing.